In this presentation, you will learn about alienation and critique of capitalism. As it remains obvious from Marx's work, he was highly critical of the prevalent capitalist mode of production that was the foundation on which the lives of the people were laid. It was within this system that laborers were considered as mere commodities that have no feeling. Capitalism gave rise to a small class of individuals that controlled the masses by virtue of ownership of means of production. The workers instead had nothing but their labor to offer in exchange of money for a livelihood. Capitalism thus becomes the root cause of suffering of the working class. Thus, in developing a critique of capitalism, Marx also put forth the theory of alienation. Alienation is an historically created phenomenon with its origin and continuity in civilized society, arising from the alienation of labor, which characterizes all systems of private property from slavery to capitalism. As wealth remains in the hands of the few, and as workers starve even for their basic needs, the capitalist mode of production creates an unequal, unjust, and meaningless society, resulting in the alienation of the workers. As human nature is seen as being creative and productive, capitalism, however, hampers this urge by transforming workers into machine-like beings. Thus, capitalism is essentially evil as the human nature loses control over itself and it comes to be governed by the means of production. The theory of alienation is therefore dependent on the idea of human nature and human potential. The theory of alienation also further derives from Marx's critique of capitalism. Nevertheless, theory of alienation is much more than the essence of human nature itself. Alienation is the manipulation of the workers by the ruling class for the benefits of the latter. And this manipulation vehemently results in, Marx argues, alienation from one's own product, alienation from the act of producing, alienation from the other workers or producers, and alienation from one's own self. The huge profits by the ruling class creates wide gap between themselves and the working class persons. Under this capitalist system of production, it is ensured that the working class continue to remain poor and unimportant. Even if the workers put more efforts at improving their conditions, the capitalist systems does not allow them to climb up the social and economic ladder. They are used like commodities to increase the profits for the ruling class. Poverty and alienation thus increases amongst the working class persons. Not just that, the capitalist market conditions encourage competition amongst the fellow workers, resulting in alienation from one's own class people. Capitalist mode of production is a witness to the abject poverty of the working class and thereby their unprecedented alienation. Labor thus becomes an alienated labor. It is within the system of capitalism to categorically suppress the creative need of human beings to the extent of presenting them as commodities that have meager value in exchange for their labor. And therefore, Marx professed abolition of capitalism to end this system where a small minority owns and controls the means of production and replacing it with a more just system, a socialist revolution. Thank you for watching the presentation.